Hello, and happy Sunday to every one of you. This is Slow It Down Sundays, and I am your host, Arlene Connolly Drummond. And I am so thankful for the opportunity to welcome you into this space, a space we have curated just for us, where we pause, we slow it down, we bring it down several notches, and allow ourselves to recalibrate, reposition, and replenish ourselves for the week ahead. It allows us to really recalibrate our mind, our hearts, our spirit, and our energy so that we can plan for a successful week. And today, I am so pleased to share with you that I have a guest visiting with me today. I am pleased to introduce you to Wendy Dwyer. And Wendy, welcome to Slow It Down Sundays.
Thank you, Arlene. What a pleasure to be here with you. I appreciate the invitation. My name is Wendy Dwyer. As Arlene just said, I am an educator. I have been for over 20 years. I've worked with kindergarten all the way to adult education. And I currently serve as an instructional coach with the Peel District School Board in Toronto, Canada.
Well, thank you. And part of the reason why I invited Wendy to join me today is because every time we talk, we get into such deep conversations. And I said, Wendy, we have to get this conversation in front of the camera. And I'm so thankful, Wendy, that you said yes.
Yes.
And that we have the opportunity to, I would say, welcome our audience into our living room, into the car, into us sitting on the beach. Wherever we are, we engage in conversation that is both enlightening, informative, stimulating, but also thought provoking.
That's true.
And so I'm looking forward to see what we share with our audience today. And so one of the things that Wendy and I spend some time talking about that lines up really nicely with the series that I started this a few weeks ago around parenting and the role we have as parents, the role we have in positioning and preparing our children for success, and really harnessing the tools that we have in our toolbox to do that. And so Wendy and I were having this conversation, and we were talking about, and Wendy, I just want to go into my conversation I shared with parents last week. I talked to them about the power that they have to prepare their children for the classroom. And just from your perspective, can you share what it means from a teacher's perspective, what we as parents could be doing to support their child's learning when they come into the classroom?
Absolutely. So I think it's very vital that parents are preparing students or their children not only with the physical materials that they need, such as pencils, computers, book, whatnot, but also that mental health piece that we see a lot of students now coming in with high anxiety and feeling like they're just not able to accomplish what what they set out to accomplish in their schooling. And I think it's very important that parents continue to affirm and reaffirm their children as their children are coming to school, help them to understand that they're capable. They have all the tools they need to be successful when they enter
Mhm.
a classroom. That it, as last week an episode you spoke about that affirmation that parents need to give to their children. Also, I would say at home, last week you spoke about preparation being key, and I cannot reiterate how important it is for parents to help children to be prepared by overnight. Just simple things like ensuring that their bags are packed from overnight, that their lunch are made. Lunches are made, and also homework is completed, right? Because that preparation takes away the anxiety that students may be feeling when they come to school on a daily basis. So I would say some key things: prepare your child or children by ensuring that preparation is done overnight with the physical needs, but also most importantly is to prepare them with the mental that emotional support that they need for them to be successful in school. Just to share a quick story, I remember one of my colleagues saying that he did not know he was going to school. His first day at school, that his parent had just dropped him off. And when we heard the story, we chuckled at it because we thought, oh my gosh, that was so hilarious. But I remember how the expression on his face that I didn't know I was coming to this place. Where am I? He said, I stood there and I didn't even know where I was, and so on. So I thought about that. And I always think about, how important it is to have those conversations that, hey, you're going into a new school year. And you know what? These may be some of the challenges, but this is how I would like for you to approach these challenges when you come
Absolutely.
across them, and so on. So I think it's very important to have those conversations with children. Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I even will share with parents the opportunity to walk their children through it. We miss what I call teachable moments.
Yes.
Teachable
Yeah.
moments are everywhere.
Yeah.
And if we can harness them as parents, we will find that we're not just talking at our kids,
Yeah.
but we're talking with them.
Yes.
We're engaging in conversation that gives them guidance, clarity, direction, insight, critical thinking skills. We are reinforcing problem solving skills,
Yes.
all through conversation and teachable moments. Even when they do something and you're extremely angry, it's a
Yes.
teachable moment because you have an opportunity to be able to help them to understand why there may be a punishment or a response to
Yes.
the action that they've just done so that they can process that. We can help them in their processing and reasoning so much by just harnessing teachable moments.
Yes, absolutely. And just to add to that, what you were saying about teachable moments, even when they have conflicts on the playground, those are teachable moments that, when they come home and they say, hey, so and so said this about me. This is a great opportunity to use that as a teachable moment, not to, to be bashful or to demean, but to redirect,
Mhm.
right? Even if they were I guess, the aggressor in any scenario,
Mm.
just redirect, have those conversations that will help them to think critically
Mhm.
about that scenario and what can they do next time,
Mhm.
and so on. Even if they have any kind of situation with their teachers or so
Mm.
on, using that, as a teachable moment for to help our children to see that your teacher and you are in a partnership, right? And I would just wanted to extend that to say, even parents, part of the preparation is to think about your relationship with your child's teacher as a partnership, that we're not here to fight each other. We're here to ensure that your child gets all the necessary skills, tools, strategies that they need that will not only help them to thrive in their education, their career, education career, their school career, but also beyond that
Mhm.
when they leave school,
Right.
right? When they go to the next grade and so on. You want to make sure that they're acquiring those skills. And part of that, being effective in that area, is to ensure that you see your connection or your relationship with your child's teacher as a partnership.
Absolutely. That is so critically important that we demonstrate, we have an opportunity to demonstrate to our kids how you interconnect and
Yeah.
relate to adults, right?
Yeah.
You have an opportunity to show them how to build friendships.
Yes.
You have an opportunity to show them cooperation.
Mhm.
You have an opportunity to show them how to organize. You have an opportunity to show them how to de-escalate their emotions.
Yes.
You have
Yes.
an opportunity to show them how to extend kindness and grace to others. Teachable
Yes.
moments are everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just want to encourage us as parents, as we remember that we are our children's first teacher,
That's right.
right?
Mhm.
And so by the time they come into the classroom, Wendy, we should be sending them with already grounded in some
Yes.
foundational, not just skills, not just abilities,
Yeah.
but values.
That's right.
Some
Absolutely.
strong values that are grounded in self-respect, self-control, honesty, integrity, cooperation, some fundamental
Yeah.
basics.
Yeah.
As a parent, before we send our children anywhere,
Yeah.
we are teaching them, are supposed to be teaching them, please and thank you.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be
Yeah.
teaching them that to respect other people's property.
Yeah.
We should be telling them to respect our physical space.
Yeah.
Like there's some fundamental basics. And for some reason, it feels like in many cases we are walking away from those
Yes.
um, fundamental roles that we as parents are supposed to do and impart upon our kids. And it's not just talking at them about it.
No.
Like I hear parents say, oh, you need to be more responsible. And I always challenge, when did you create the opportunity for me to practice that skill?
Absolutely.
When did you demonstrate it? When did you then sit with me and teach it to me? Then walk alongside me and watch me do it? Then give me instructions from the sidelines to a point that you saw that I got it? That
Yeah.
you can even extend that I'm responsible.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just growing to learn.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I agree with you completely. When you speak about that modeling, us being parents, they are their children's first teacher. That in every area, and I remember when I was a grade 6 teacher, I would have parents asking me all the time, how do I help my child to become more responsible? Or how do I help my child to become better at math or at English and so on? And I would always say, in particular, when it towards math, is that you have to allow them to do things like, so when you go to the grocery store, practical things, or if they're learning about estimation, right? Allow them to estimate, how much do you think this is going to cost? And so on. Model for them while you're picking up stuff. And so reason, speak out loud. What's your rationale for getting this? What is, what do I need this right now? So I'm teaching them financial literacy. I'm teaching them the importance of getting things that are important, like my needs versus my wants and so on. So all of those values that are being modeled for them. I don't have to, wag my finger at them all the time. But as you're just saying now, I'm modeling those values for my kids and so on.
Absolutely.
Right. And
Absolutely.
those are very critical. I want my child to become more responsible. Are they helping out at home? Are they playing? I remember once I had a student say, oh, I was off, miss, and I played video games from 8 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, that's not good. Did you help your mom with taking out the garbage? Oh, she doesn't allow me. Did you help with this and so on? How how will our children learn these things if we're not teaching them? We're not modeling it for them. If we're not requiring them to
Yes.
do these things,
Yes.
because the expectation needs to be there. Think of it as we're not raising babies.
Mhm.
Their ultimate destination is to become responsible adults that are great contributor to our society
Yep.
and so on. And so we have to keep modeling for them. We have to keep requiring things of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think this leans us and guides us into a bigger conversation we've been having. I can remember growing up when we wanted something, right? There was something we wanted. We wanted a new bike. We wanted a toy. There was something, a new outfit, whatever it was. There was something that we wanted. And there was a conversation about if this want
Yeah.
was something that, one, we could afford right now.
Yeah.
Two, if this was something that I earned because I I did whatever I was supposed to do because I have a list of responsibilities.
Yeah.
And then 3, it was, I would love for you to get this thing that you want, i.e., let's say the bike, right?
Yeah.
And then there would be a conversation about here is how you can contribute
That's right.
to the cost
That's right.
of this item, right? And so whether it wasn't just my normal chores. It would have been go and help Miss Mary down the street with, her lawn, or take her groceries, or, wash the fence, or
Yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
But you had to do something, i.e., work
That's right.
and contribute. So even though our parents knew that they were going to get the thing,
Yeah.
there was still a responsibility of an investment
Absolutely.
that you had to make into that thing. And then when you got it, because you knew you contributed
Yeah.
to the purchase of that item,
Yeah.
there was a difference in how you treated
Yes.
it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So often today, I hear parents say, "Oh, they don't value the stuff." How could
You
they?
can't.
They never got to understand what the cost was,
Yeah.
what it took to acquire it, like none of that.
Yeah.
And so we are missing the opportunity to demonstrate, to teach, to show our children how to walk out being a responsible adult.
Absolutely.
We're missing it.
Yes, we are. And I think that comes from just the mindset that, well, I had to do those things and I don't want my kids to do that. I didn't like it when I was a child, right? And well, I didn't like when they asked me to do the dishes, and I didn't like when they, asked me to clean the washroom or whatever the case may be. But I think a lot of times we forget the values. We forget the important lessons.
Yep.
We forget, what did we learn? What did I learn? What did that experience teach me? How did it mold me? I am that I'm who I am right now because of those experiences. And when you think about yourself, you think, well, you know what? I turned out fine. No one's perfect. I have my flaws, but yet I consider myself to be a productive person. And part of who I am is because I went through and I had those experiences.
Mhm.
Why would I want to deny my child because I'm focusing on the negative experiences or feelings that I had about a particular situation versus what did I learn from it,
Mhm.
right? And if I learned those things, then I want my child to learn those things. I don't want, to my child to just feel like they can just get up and get whatever they want.
Exactly.
Everything just handed to them, because of course not. They will never appreciate something that's just handed to them, and so on. Sometimes they don't even, parents will come and they'll give things to their children, and the children have no clue the sacrifice the parents had to make in
Yes.
order to get that item.
Yes.
So it's two folds. They don't know your sacrifice.
Mhm.
So, right. And second part, they didn't have to sacrifice for it. They didn't
No.
have to do anything
So
for it.
it has no value.
Has no value,
Mhm.
and I think it's so important that part of the preparation is to also teach your children about the sacrifices you have to make in order to for them to have what they have.
Mm.
I'm not talking about stressing them out with adult pieces, right? There, you can explain to your children the sacrifices you have made for them without going into, the adult side of things
Right.
and so on. And I think that is so important. It's vital to add value or to help your children to um, put value on what they have. That what
Absolutely.
you have did not come it just didn't fall out the sky.
Mhm.
Someone had to sacrifice for it, right?
Absolutely.
And you need to make sure that you are learning the importance of making those sacrifices.
Yeah, I think this is so important, because I'm watching what's going on in our society, and one of the things that troubles me, I'm an advocate for my young people.
Yeah.
I go into rooms, I'm in places, and I'm going to speak up on behalf of children,
Yeah.
right? I'm an advocate for young people.
Yeah.
And so I'm usually in a room full of adults.
Yes.
And many times I'm in a room, adults are speaking about kids
Yeah.
and how our kids are showing up.
Yes.
And they're blaming
Mhm.
and putting down or speaking not positively
Yeah.
about how kids' behavior,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we are labeling the behavior um, and we're attaching it to the child,
Yeah.
right? But we're not addressing the behavior, right? And so my challenge every time I hear that is this. This is the statement I say all the time. We, the adults, are charged with the responsibility to create a safe space for our children to learn, grow, and thrive.
Yes.
That is our responsibility to create the condition. When we fail to do that,
Yeah.
when children grow up in toxic environments, when they're not properly coached or provided the supports or giving these examples that we've been talking about,
Yeah.
when those missed teachable moments happen, when they didn't get that level of understanding and reasoning and development that is required as part of their growth, when they miss it,
Yeah.
right? And then they show up ill prepared
Yeah.
for the different places and stages they are in their lives, we are blaming the child.
That's right.
And my question is, where did the child learn or didn't learn the behaviors? Where did they get or didn't get the tools? Where did they learn, get, or didn't get the language,
Yeah.
right? Or the persona or the attitude that they're demonstrating to us, the adults?
Yeah.
It came from somewhere.
That's right.
It grew, it was cultivated somewhere, the
Yeah.
positive and the negative.
Yes.
But we're blaming the child. And until we take a level of ownership
Yeah.
of our role
Yeah.
in the process, we won't be able to fix it.
No, no, because we're looking at the wrong source. We're um, looking at the effect rather than the cause. And we really need to go back to what's causing this. And I always pray and hope and say, I'm looking forward to that shift, and I believe it's going to come, that parents are going to start, parents, caregiver, whomever will start going, making that shift and start to look into their own actions, start to investigate, well, what's happening? Where did we move? How come we moved so far away from our home base?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And of course, there's always things that we can tweak. We're always refining things and so on, but we really do need to take a stop and to look at, how did we get so far with our
Yeah.
children?
Yeah.
And we're really, putting the blame in the wrong area.
Yes.
We cannot blame them, because really they're just a product of the environment.
Mhm.